almost anything I write, but I'm not saying that, you know, I just don't. We all, I think all of us do. But when I started to write this piece, like I felt it was going to be bigger and bigger than myself. Maybe you may not feel that way, but I have a special connection to it, and it's about my mom, and so that'll be it. My mother knew how to raise the mother in me. I felt so different though because my father used to call me mantequilla, butter in Spanish. And because of that, sometimes I'd wonder if I was just too soft, too pliable, too bendable, too breakable. I wondered if my sensitiveness would be better served on a censorship list. If it would be better to weather my own emotions until they eroded in a road not known to be so gentle. It's just, events don't inherently come with names until we engage and attach one to the other as if all part of the same terrain. Hence the phrase chain of events. We as people make connections amongst events in order for them to make sense, and my mother swears I'm the air that she breathes. So when they diagnosed her, I hope the doctors didn't blame it on her environment. When my friends would talk about that chick and want to bone, her bone would carry my body back to the skeletons in my closet. Back to '94 when he broke her arm and they just didn't understand why it wasn't like them. And while they were only concerned about getting between that girl's hips when they boned her, I wanted to be her hips. The bones inside of her, because without me she couldn't move alone, and without her heartbeat I'd just be bones. I can't tell you how many times my mother was battered up on home's plate, but we still dug out love. She was rocked quite often, but was one hell of a mountain climber. She paid a hefty price to wear his fists. And they were the most expensive black and blue eye makeup I've ever seen. Their battles built graves on her body for the parts of her that died on his hands. When my friends would talk about the girl that week, they'd pound and then show her the door. It reminded me of the door that night. Pound, pound, pound. The door was the only thing between him and us. We hid in her room, and I learned something about home that night. As long as you're with who you love, as long as both hearts are touched down, safety is irrelevant despite any possible punt towards our own end zone. Pound, pound, pound. If only I were older, and if only each pound wore a towel, I'd wipe the floor with him. And his words were no less potent, no less explosive, and they gladly stepped in for his hands when they were too busy with their Heineken potion. When my friends would brag about how many metaphorical lampshades they looked under in their room, how many lamps laid as mental trophies on the nightstand surrounding their bed, my mother always said if I let them shine in my mind, I wouldn't need not even one nightstand to hold them high. Spell a woman. A woman is a man on woe, and you can still be fly if you land on one. So just so you know, disrespect them when you're kicking dirt on the land from which we all grow. My father told me to go back where I came from. So many times I realized, when most guys are treating the inside like a candy store, I found all the getting inside in the world won't matter until you feel like you found your golden wrapper. And when most guys are wishing that girl is blind enough to not see their ulterior motives, they've forgotten that most women have superpowers. All they see are invisible men. And I wanted to make her feel my words like Braille for the unseen. I wanted to bring life to those frozen in time words once told to her, because those I love yous and I miss yous from her past were paralyzed from the neck down. They were just trying to get ahead. What's alive needs oxygen to live, and sooner or later she was only living to breathe life into those words, and I wanted to breathe life back into her. My mother taught me things. She said just because someone before you spent time in her boiler room doesn't mean they turn the heat on. She said no matter who smashed, you make sure you love her to pieces, and a girl's past is like cremated ash, it's been lived already. My mother said kisses are like stitches. They heal all wounds as long as they don't remain hidden in the bottom right corner of special occasion birthday cards, because every kiss doesn't begin with K, they begin with lips, and so does every life. And it's time for us guys to start respecting where we came from.
One more time for Danny Matos. Now, is he a poet or what? It's some poetry. Yeah. Like old to the mother. Nothing like a mother. I think Danny's mother's in the house tonight. Yeah. We have uber creative writer for a son, man.